process of increasing in size. A feature that is both individual, intrinsic, and throughout nature.
This is going to be so interesting, you know.
This is the moment we have been waiting for.
I'm feeling it now.
What has come before is now consigned to the history books. This new decade brings new challenges, new rivals, falling giants, and new beginnings.
Bang, bang, bang! 3 shots to the heart.
Oh,
in the back end. Oh no!
Those who are climbing will meet. Who will fall by the wayside, and who will embody growth.
There's still wheel to wheel!
That is unbelievable!
League of Europe, grow or fade.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for Division 2 for the penultimate round of this season. Season 4, of course, on the PlayStation 4. No, I am not Daka. I have not got a squeaky Scottish accent. My name is J. Cole. I'm bringing you guys once again for Division 2. Once again, I'm not alone as well. I am also joined by the Dutchie, who doesn't celebrate Sinterklaas. It is Mr. QV Verstappen. How are you doing?
Hello everyone and welcome once again to Division 2 of League of Europe here at Abu Dhabi round 17. Yeah, I'm doing quite well, to be fair. We're looking forward to this. Of course, we've got a title fight up in our hands, 2 rounds to go, with Rick on 187 points in the lead, but Hardy is closing in on 175, so let's see how that pans out here in the, well, basically desert track, we can call it.
Yeah, the Yas Marina circuit, the deserted track, of course, in the United Arab Emirates as well. Yeah, I think this is literally the only championship that is now left to be decided. Division 1, Division 3, and Division 4 all have been decided. Literally, if you just missed them, it was literally about 10-15 minutes ago, so you're living a bit under a rock. But yeah, so literally this is the only championship that is left to be decided. Division 5, of course, had theirs sorted out over in Mexico, so Cam K, of course, taking that one. And in case you did miss it, Don taking Division 4, Yorno taking Division 3, and Montana taking Division 1. And of course, as Verstappen has just said, Rick and Hardy are the other two that are yet to be having, or well, they're the two that are fighting it out for their championship. And well, I mean, what a season it's been so far, if I'm honest. I mean, Hardy coming up from Division 3 as my teammate before, to now being in Division 2 and being in the title fight. You got to think, if he was in the first 4 races in Division 2, do you reckon that he probably would have won the championship by now?
He may have had, but of course you gotta take in mind that M. Short was there at that point in time. And he was quite a dominant force, to say the least. But he got promoted up to Division 1, so that threw quite the championship a bit wide open for guys like Rick and Hardy to get into that gap and fight for the championship.
No, you are very true indeed as well. So, yeah, well, it could be decided tonight. All really Rick needs to do is, I think, is outscore Hardy by about 13 points. So, really, if Rick wins, Hardy would need to come, what's that, 7th, I think? 6th or 7th, around that sort of margin, in order for Rick to take the win tonight. Or even 5th, sorry. If Hardy finishes 5th and Rick wins, then Rick will take the championship tonight. If he does end up finishing 4th, I believe due to the amount of wins, it will then go to the final round in Brazil, because it will be dead on 26 points, of course, unless Rick gets the fastest lap. So this could really be the final race for the championship for tonight, or we'll end up seeing it go to Brazil. But of course, enough about those two at the championship. We're here for, of course, the rest of the Division 2 grid as well. And the first one that's, of course, put a lap on the board, it is Iro Packer putting in a 33.1, and I'm currently on board with Mr. XL Gary, the Irishman that was demoted from D1 down into Division 2. He is just making his way around the final corner. I did see that he was purple in Sector 2, although I know he's one of the first ones to come across the line, and is only gone in the second doing a 33.2. Ryan just behind doing a 34.0, and I think a few other guys unfortunately invalidating on any of their laps, as Dylan doing a 32.9, and Lando instantly just swiping pole position off of him, doing a 32.7. But Verstappen, I mean, who do you maybe want to go on board with? Just take a look around on their lap for this evening.
Well, Rick is coming towards the end of his lap, so I'd like to go on board with that. He's coming for the penultimate corner now towards turn 21 of 21, and open up the throttle. He goes towards a 132.7 and just about beats Lando towards provisional pole position, but back he comes in and swoops around 600 of seconds, and he is on 132.6, so all very close so far.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. And just looking at on board with a few other drivers, Hardy / Maledictus, Tin Can, all invalidating on their first lap. So I don't know if they're going to be going again and doing yet another lap. The Sky, as he putting it into P7 with a 33.1, and Scuderia Seb as well, just improving on his time, doing a 33.0. So. Yeah, I mean, good time for Seb to put himself up into that top 5 position, but the big factor as well, Hardy unfortunately invalidating on both of his laps as well. So Hardy, without a time so far, meanwhile his championship rival in P2, I mean, Hardy really needs to try and get himself a lap in, because I know the strategy around here is, well, there's so many varying strategies that could be towards the top. Well, I mean, it depends obviously on like safety cars and trains and stuff like that are going on within the race. But obviously, I know the soft to medium, soft to medium, medium, soft, medium, soft, anything like that really is where it's like probably the best strategy to go on. But then again, could you maybe even, if you're starting outside the top 10, go maybe like medium to soft at the start of the race?
That's definitely a possibility, and you'll see, as you said, a lot of variation in that strategy department, basically. I think everyone would, as you can see, is just going for soft to start, but they do wear off very early on in the race, and the mediums are really the better race tire. So what you're gonna see is probably a few early pit stops towards the 2-stop, and maybe a few that will extend and try to go to the hards or the mediums at the end, saving them the pit stop lost time, basically, of making that second pit stop. That'll benefit them quite a bit, as the SPAC just went up into P11 with a 133.6. They'll be looking to improve on that quite shortly, I think.
Yeah, no, he definitely will be. I mean, he's done 2 laps on the soft tyres, and of course I don't think he's going to be using those at the beginning of the race, so I'm expecting maybe like a pole time here to be a low 32. Obviously I know in Division 3 I think it was a 32.6 I think was the pole position time in there, so I mean that's literally matching what Baki has done for this evening. So we'll keep an eye out and see who is going to be where come towards the end of qualifying. A lot of guys just coming back out on their second outlaps now. And I believe, in fact, Mr. IFR K-Mark is going to be the first one to set a lap, although it looks as if he isn't, because he's in 0 ERS or something, which is very, very strange. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
just looked like he's backed off there.
Yeah.
But I think, as usual, actually, got a debutant, Arcolo. He's recently joined the league, and he's in as a reserve here in the Haas, so let's see how he can perform around the Jazz Marina circuits. Don't know much about him, so we'll see.
Yeah, we certainly will. So here we go then. This is going to be the lap that we will ride on board with. Arcolo, of course, as you said, the debutant for the League of Europe, coming around the final corner to start his lap time. So here we go.
Debut lap, basically, for the Haas here, and we're looking forward to see more of him throughout the session.
Yeah, certainly is. So, very, very good debut for Arcolo to save, or to say the least. A few other guys are currently on their laps now as well. I believe Ryan, unfortunately, invalidating his time once again, so he is not going to have any sort of improvement. The other XL member of Gary is just up ahead of him, though. I think just starting his lap as well, but we just want to try and get to someone that's a bit closer to finishing their lap, I believe. In fact, Dylan is going to be the next one.
Across the line.
Oh, he did indeed.
Yeah, Nicholas went 7th, and then Dylan is coming around the final corner to cross the line. He's going into 2nd place, just 4 thousandths ahead of Baki there. I think Scuderia Seb did a minor improvement there. I'm not too sure. It's quite busy around the end of the lap at the moment, so can find someone.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think he actually just started his lap as well, and I believe seeing a few other guys just coming across the line. New Waluigi puts himself up in a P12 of 33.4 for the Belgian. I believe it was Zardama as well that ended up improving ever so slightly as well. So yeah, a few guys improving on their lap times now. Of course, we've got 7 minutes left to go in the session, and I mean, who else is sort of on a lap? I believe Lando, coming through the hotel section, is actually a 10th up on his time, and this is going to put him on pole position at around, well, only just as well. The top 3 split by about 0.05 of a second. So here we go, Lando coming around the final corner now, up towards the line. Is it going to be in contention with us, guys? It is, in fact, a 32.5 on pole position for now, and we're going to see a bit later on if anybody's able to beat that. Gary coming around the corner as well to do a 32.7, and in fact Lando's teammate just went purple in sector 2.
It's very interesting to see. Then he's coming around the hotel section towards turn 18 and now 19. Use as much of the curves as he can. And on the exit, bit of oversteer there for the Renault, and now coming towards the penultimate corner, very easy to invalidate as well. And through the last corner into fourth gear, he sticks it in. Very nicely done by Scuderia. He comes across the line, makes it a Renault 1-2 at the moment. And in behind we have one of the Mercedes guys, Kaisi, going up into P8. And one of the Red Bulls, that would be Dylan. He's coming across the line. No improve. Nico just in behind is invalidated, unfortunately. Niwa Luigi into the pits. He goes, and I think the McLarens have just set a lap as well, so I don't think they'll be on one at the moment.
No, they certainly weren't, but I'm going on bad with Spag, who ended up doing 2 laps on those older tyres, but now coming around the final corner is the Brit and puts it in a P12, a 33.138, only just under a 10th, separating him and Mikris in 10th position as well. So very interesting qualifying so far. 3 guys still yet to put themselves a time on the board, and I believe K-Mark will be the next one, unless that Renault is going to end up finishing a lap, which I don't think it will. But in fact, K-Mark has invalidated on his time, so it won't be him. Gary, I think, was the one that ended up coming around the final corner, coming around the second to last corner now, just to come into the pits, but only 1,000th behind Rick. And I know those guys used to be teammates way back in the day in the 3-lettered league that we will not mention. Yeah, those 2 guys, of course, teaming now, and now in Division 2, looking like they're going to have maybe a little bit of a battle. And Gary could play a little bit of a part into this championship battle, but maybe just to try and help out Hardy a bit more, because Hardy at the moment, sitting down in P15 with a 33.5, it's not where he wants to be, especially if his championship contender is sitting in P6 at the moment. So we'll have to see when coming through the rest of the qualifying session. But is anybody else actually currently on a lap? I believe the Polish man of Baki is.
Baki. Yes, he is just coming through towards turn 3 and 4. Flat out goes the Alfa Romeos. It's a first second time of 16.7, slightly up in this time. Second gear through turn 6 now, and now into 7 of the hairpin. Important to get a good exit here, and looks like he's going to get that third gear on the exit. And now opening up the throttle towards the DRS zone. Very long speeds of around 330 kilometers an hour will be reached here, I think. Let's see, now braking towards the 100 meter board. There he goes, onto the brakes, bit of a lock up and misses the apex slightly there. Now over the curb for turn 9, bit of oversteer, and through turn 10 now, second DRS straight here. As tight as you can here for the shortest run towards the triple chicane sector 2 split here. It's slightly down in his time. He's not had the great run for 11, 12 and 13, and he just about goes wide. Does he keep it foul? Like just about a bit lenient there on the track limits, and he has a bit of luck there. Now through 14, 15 and 16, I believe this might be 17 into here, and now towards 18, opening up the full very technical section. This keeps him 3rd and 4th in the exit, and just about to validate through turn 19. And that will ruin his lap. I don't think he was on an improvement, but very unfortunate to see for him.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. I'm very unfortunate for Baki to do that indeed. And I'm just looking around to see who else is currently on a lap, and the next one to come across the line on his lap. Well, I was going to say it was Tin Can, but unfortunately he's invalidated his lap once again. So Tin Can only going to get one more run possible out of this one. He's still using his ERS, which is a bit odd, but nonetheless, I believe Mikris will be the next one to end up finishing his lap as well. Mikris only joined in last week, I believe, in Mexico, and I wasn't too sure of the result because I was doing the Division 5 commentary for that one last week. But for Mikris, did he have a good first race last week, or was this actually his first race this week?
No, he had a decent race last week, but I think we should go on board with the lap as he has a purple middle sector at the moment, and coming through the triple chicane keeps it nice and tidy there. A bit missing the apex on 14, and now towards 15, 16 and 17 he's going. Looks quite tidy, and a break in, a bit of a lock up on the front right, but keeps it in place there. Third gear for 18, doesn't use as much of the track as he really wants to. Now for 19, and towards the final two corners, is he going to be able to get up there? He has a 33 flat at the moment in P10. Can he improve on that? A bit of a lock up for the final corner. Last sector wasn't too great from him. He improved slightly up into P9.
So 32.9, the ninth person to get themselves into the 32s, and now everybody are either on an outlap or have done their laps as well. So let's have a look and see who's going to be coming across the line to finish their lap. I can see there's a Mercedes that's just starting his lap. There is a Racing Point, which I believe Ryan is also just starting his lap. The two McLarens just about to make their way through. Same with New Waluigi as well, just behind them. I believe both of the Ferraris are also just going to be starting another lap. Maledictus unfortunately invalidating on his first try around. Just interesting to see. I'm trying to see who really is on a lap that's sort of like the furthest down. I believe it could be Slash.
Slash, yes, and he's 2 tenths up, so this is looking promising for the Alfa Romeo. Been looking quick in qualifying all season, and let's see if he can keep that streak going. He's currently in 10th place and wants to improve on that, using quite a bit of the track here and just about keeps it valid. Now for the final two corners, it turns in quite blindly, a bit of oversteer on the exit there. Spacker's retired in the pit lane, and now MA Slash on the exit. 32.9 will be a time improvement, but not place improvement, unfortunately, as the flag has gone out. Tin Can is invalidated, unfortunately. Gary will be the next one to come across the line. See, he's coming for the final two corners, 5th gear, and looks quite nice here through the final two corners. 3rd gear, 4th on the exit, and now let's see what the Irishman can do. 32.6 puts him up into P4.
Yeah, it certainly does, and Rick, interestingly enough to note as well, didn't end up improving on his time. He was actually invalidated on his final run. So, I mean, this is really the opportunity that Hardy needed, as Skyzy also coming into the pits. Ryan coming across the line now. Only an improvement by 4 tenths, but it's still 17th on the grid, a 33.6. And Zarama didn't manage to improve either. Hardy did not improve at all. So 33.597, he's down in 15th for his championship contender. He's currently sitting in P7.
But now let's see, Lando, is he going to be able to improve? No, he won't. And Kmart coming across the line, only 18 for him. Scuderia Sepp now, he's invalidated, and 2 of the Ferraris coming across. Maledictus is invalidated. Spag is invalidated. It's not going to be an improvement for them either. QVR and Nico now for the final corner, 3rd gear. And now on the exit, let's see what he can do. He's at the 33 flat into P12. There goes Arcolo. He's put it on pole for now.
Wow.
Still Baki going to be able to improve. Baki just about in 2nd place. With the debutants, big story here. Arcolo has put it on pole by just more than a 10th.
Yeah, as you said, a debut that he will remember, putting it up onto the top spot, a 32.3, chucking himself on pole position. So very good indeed for Arcolo to put himself on that pole position. K-Mark just saying in the chat, just saying could have just not done the lap, would have been equally good. But I suppose it is what it is. You never know until you do finish that lap indeed. But yeah, the debutee of Arcolo, putting it on pole position. Baki, I believe that might be his. Am I correct in saying that's his best qualifying position in Division 2, unless he's qualified on pole?
I would honestly not be able to tell you, but I think he's got a few top 3 qualifyings at the moment.
Yeah.
Already for the rest of the grid is the Renaults line up in third and fourth. Then we have Excel, Gary, and Dylan in fifth and sixth. Rick, championship leader in seventh place, with Skyzy just alongside him. Then Mikers and Slash in ninth and 10th. Zuiderman, Nico, Packer, Spack, Luigi, Hardy, importantly, Ryan, K-Mark, Tinkan, and Maledictus, the last two not setting in time, will all have free tire choice for the race. And it'll be interesting to see, especially from Hardy, if he's going to be able to come for the field.
Yeah, no, it certainly will be as well. And yeah, I suppose this part is really where it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to, well, not only get out on top with those two in the championship, but then if anybody else is also going to be able to play a part. I mean, like you said, the two Renaults are very good qualifying for them, third and fourth at the moment. Backy as well. Since he's moved down from Division 2 to Division 1, he's had really good results as well. And Arcolo, really the biggest one out of all of that, putting himself on pole position, with this being his first race in the League of Europe as well, so very good result for him, and let's see if he is able to do that in the race. But as I said earlier about the strategies, it's a bit, it can sort of depend on who's going to be where, and if of course they're in a train trying to maybe go for a bit of an undercut. Safety cars again can play a massive part into it, because it can be the difference between a one-stop strategy and a two-stop strategy. But I believe that the fastest one really is just a soft to medium, so we'll see if any of those drivers do opt to do that, as we are now just about to get underway for the formation lap. Verstappen, do we maybe think Rick or Hardy can try and capitalise on being able to move themselves up throughout this and taking this to the final race, or do you reckon Rick's going to be able to close it out tonight?
Well, first of all, before saying anything about that, I wanted to check out the tire choices. Interestingly enough, there's 8 people who are on mediums outside the top 10, and none of them are Hardy or Ryan, because they have chosen for the soft compound of tires, which is interesting to see so far down the field. Let's see how they will cope on. That's very interesting choice.
Yeah, no, it certainly is, and well, I think they're probably going to hope and pray that a safety car is going to come out ASAP. They need to try and make up as many positions as they possibly can between, well, throughout now until maybe sort of lap 5, lap 6, when they'll be making their pit stop. I believe it'll be sort of like lap 4 to 6, we'll see a majority of people start to make their pit stops, of course, other than the ones that are on the mediums. The ones on the mediums, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they can do a one stop of a medium to soft, but I don't think it is really the quicker strategy to go ahead and do it. But I guess we'll see when we get later on into the race. But do we possibly have a top 3 prediction?
Oh, you've really put me for the fence now. I'm gonna say Bakke's gonna win this race.
Give your bias.
Finish second. And Zuiderman's gonna finish third. Now you can't say that because I've put 2 XL guys in the podium,
right.
haven't I? Fair enough. It's gonna be interesting to see, but I'm very interested to see what Arcolo can do from pole position, because if he can translate the quality pace he had in the earlier session to the race pace, he will be very much one to look out for.
Yeah, no, he certainly will. So we'll keep an eye out and see how these guys are going to do. Like you said, Zuiderman being outside of the top 10, the first one on a set of the mediums. So really, it's just about his getaway. If he can get a good getaway compared to the guys that are up ahead of him, he could really be well within a chance of getting himself into that top 5, maybe even onto the podium as well. As now Maledictus just lining up to the line, and we are about to get this race underway. Here comes the 5 red lights for the penultimate round of Division 2. And it is lights out, and away we go. And it looks like Backy hasn't exactly got the start that he wanted. It does look like Lando could be going alongside him up in towards turn 1. It does look like Arcolo did get a good the getaway that he also wanted. And side by side now going Dylan and Rick. Rick trying to go around the outside to have the inside for turn 3. I think he's managing to hold it down on the inside. But Dylan, very good way of keeping it. And one of the championship contenders, did you say, is round?
Hardy went round in turn 2. I think he came into contact slightly, and he is further back down the grid, and he'll have to compromise quite a bit. I don't think he has damage, but now looking up the grid, we have Lando alongside Baki out of the hairpin. He's using all of his overtake at the moment, but Baki's using a bit more in defense and stays ahead there. Further behind, let's see if there's any nice side-to-side battles going on. Bit of a stoppage in the chicane here. Packer and Slash are going quite close to each other. Slash but just keeps ahead, but Packer is chasing him down towards turn number 11. Can he make a move down towards there? I don't think he is, as I'm seeing Dylan getting past Scuderi Sepp for P4 in the meantime, and he is up 2 positions off the start.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I was also just looking on board a little bit behind as well. Nico getting past Zadama, so Packer as well. I just want to say he's had the better getaway out of the guys that were outside of the top 10, because he's now already up into 10th position, whereas Zadama down 2 places already into 13th, and the 2 racing points there just switching positions. I believe Tinkan just letting Ryan go, try and make up as many positions as he possibly can. But yeah, off of that start, Hardy, I mean, we're having that spin into turn 2, or, as you said, it could have been a bit of contact. Hopefully he doesn't have any sort of wing damage, because if he does, that's massively going to compromise the strategy. And there is already a Mercedes into the pits of New Aloisi, so he might have come into contact with him.
That is definitely a possibility, as he was near him on the track. Let's see, everyone in one file at the moment, but yeah, New Aloisi is pitted onto, I think, a set of soft tires, so he'll be looking to make some ground up quite quickly then. Looking forward, we have Rick onto the back of Scuderi Sepp. He's stayed position at the moment, so it does look like he's not gained too much, but he doesn't need to at the moment when Hardy's in P19.
Yeah, he certainly is, and yeah, just going on board with that battle, and well, on board with Gary looking at this battle here as well. Rick's just getting a little bit of a better getaway than what Gary did just up ahead of him, and Rick closing down Scuderia Seb. I think he's probably hoping that he can try and make up as many positions as he possibly can. All he needs, as I said, is 14 points for him to try, for him to be able to take the win tonight. So at this moment, if Rick finishes in P3, then he will have won the championship for Division 2. As I said, currently this is the final championship that is still left going, and Hardy, well, he needs to get a bit of a move on if he wants any chance of being able to get himself up into that top 10 and get himself any sort of points, or top 12 shall I say, and get himself any sort of points to be able to make sure that Rick doesn't capitalise on that. But at the moment, Arcolo doing a very good job. 1.1 seconds already separates him and Baki at the front of this grid. Arcolo, an amazing debut here for Division 2. And so, well, we'll wait and see how he's probably going to be for the next season as well, if he does decide to sign up. And speaking of that, sign-ups in the Discord are currently going. So anybody that's in the Discord, just make sure you are signing up for that. We will be releasing the sign-ups a bit later on in December, so make sure you're keeping an eye out on that. And I believe also the award ceremony, a little bit of a teaser, but keep your eye out on that one as well. So DRS, of course, is going to be activated on this lap for these guys as well that are within that 1 second gap. Baki isn't in that 1 second gap, so he's going to be under pressure a bit from Lando. Only 4 attempts behind him now. Lando runs a little bit wide coming out of the chicane, but he will still have the DRS nonetheless on the pole. And again, still not close enough to being able to get any sort of move done. But is anybody else a bit further down close enough? I think Rick might be. No, he's a little bit too far back.
No, it doesn't look like that. The only one that may look for it is Maledictus. He's down the inside of turn 11, and that is a good move by the Ferrari drive. He's up into P17, ahead of K-Mark now.
Yeah, certainly is. Good move from Maledictus indeed to be able to get past K-Mark. And of course Hardy as well, the other champion, the other one in the championship fight, just having to sit behind this battle is causing him a lot of loss of time, because you can already see Maledictus 1.3 seconds behind Tin Can and Ryan. And don't forget, Hardy started by Tin Can. And yeah, someone's just coming into the pits. That is Lando already.
Lando. And Gary as well. They're going to go for an undercut, same as Ryan, and same as Hardy. So all the Excel boys are really trying something. I think we're going to see mediums for the guys. Lando definitely is, Gary is, Ryan, yes, and Hardy has mediums as well. So the yellow wall tire has been favoured to choose here. and they're gonna try and get an undercut on the soft runners or the rest of the pack basically, as the soft tires will be falling off and the medium runners in behind will be stuck behind those soft runners, so they won't be able to go anywhere at the moment. Meanwhile, we look at Scuderia Seppis. He's closing up towards XL Dylan, down towards the chicane. He's down the inside. Can he make this one stick into turn 8? Side by side they go. And looks like Scuderia Sepp just about has that hang on. And Rick is looking towards the outside as well, side by side. Bit of contact there. And just about enough room left there by both of them. Rick is now up into P4. Will Dylan be able to come back? He's looking at the outside here of turn 11. Would be an amazing move if he can make it stick, but he can't at the moment. And Rick is through. Dylan losing 2 positions, and he looks like he's struggling as he has Skyzy right on the rear end of him already. As Kmart picks up time penalty in the meantime.
Yes, certainly is, and look how much the top 2 have already gained just from that alone. 3.1 seconds now separates the top 2 from the rest of the train that is going on behind them. It's just going on. Of course, the XL guys making their pit stops very early. They're definitely going to be doing a 2-stop strategy, and I'm expecting Dylan to maybe come in as well. Dylan, I think he tried to come in, but completely missed the pit entry, and I think just ran a little bit too wide out of there. So Dylan lucky to not sort of cause any sort of collisions going up forward. But yeah, Mikros, Baki, Dylan all into the pits. So Baki going to try and go for a bit of an undercut on all of these guys.
Yeah, but Baki, interestingly enough, is on the softs compound of tires. So he's going to go for another set of softs here. Maybe try and go to the mediums in the end. Let's see, where's Lando compared to him? He's just about ahead of him. As they come down towards turn number 5, Lando just jumped him in the pits. Mikros has come out between Dylan and Ryan. Then I don't think anyone else is really in a fight at the moment. Let's see, up front if we have Slash actually on the back of Skyzy, and Packer's not far behind either. Any move down toward turn 11 gonna be seen. Packer's closing up towards Slash, but I don't think he's close enough for a move. Say Baki is down the outside of Lando and he's through into P13. Lando's looking for the cutback though, for the better exit, but I don't think he's close enough as Baki uses some overtake to defend himself from the Renault in behind, and he is still ahead, and he'll be making it. He needs to make the most of those soft tires to make this strategy work.
Yeah, no, he certainly does. I think Baki really need to get that move done ASAP and just make sure that he gets as far as he possibly can on these soft compound of tyres. It is going to mean he's going to need to go to the mediums for another stop. So Baki will be doing a 2-stop as well. But usually the soft tyres, they'll die after about 4 laps on them. So yeah, Baki's going to try and get as far away from Lando as he possibly can, as the rest of the guys that are on the softs, other than Seb and Slash, all coming into the pits. And Lando, 3-second time penalty for him, interestingly enough.
Yeah, definitely you'll see this panel a lot as Gary sets the fastest lap of the race, but it's a track that's easy to pick a penalty at. And look at where Arcola has come out compared to Lando and Baki. And even Gary, might be jumped by Gary pretty soon, as the Irishman is right behind the German. And that undercut has definitely paid off for both Baki and Lando.
Yeah, no, it certainly has, and Gary as well, because Gary wasn't sort of, well, I say he wasn't in this fight, he wasn't as close to these guys as what he is now, of course. Managing to even jump Dylan as well, when I believe he was actually behind Dylan at the start. So Gary could be an interesting one to see who we can, if he can maybe make up a few more places, maybe when he goes for a second pit stop, doing a bit more of an undercut on the rest of those guys, as I believe Packer just getting past Slash as well, going down the second DRS straight.
Yeah, meantime we have a battle in behind between Dylan and Rick. Dylan has just been overtaken by Rick, but he's coming back at him now, almost out of VRS already, the Red Bull is. And he is looking around the outside of the Williams, bit of contact there, and Dylan decides to cut the corner and stick in behind. He's going for the switchback though, so Cola picks a time penalty. But Rick squeezes in towards the apex and can't make the move stick. In the meantime, Sky got past in front of Mikros, and he's now into 16th. And he's right behind this as well, as Slash is now in. And interestingly enough, Scuderia Sepp is still not in, and he is extending these softs. It does definitely look like.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about maybe the different strategies of what people are going to be doing. Seb could be doing a one-stop strategy, because I know the soft to medium is possible. It's very difficult to do, but it is possible, and it looks as if I mean, it looks as if that's what he's going to be doing at the moment. He technically could still count as a net race leader if he is really doing the one stop, because Packer, Nico, Zardam are all behind him. They're of course on the mediums. They're catching up to the back of him because of the soft tyres starting to go off. So, I mean, yeah, if he is doing that one stop, it could play into his hands a little bit later on. It's just when it comes towards the end of the race, the guys that are on the two stops could well be within reach of catching up to the back of him.
Yeah, definitely, and don't rule out a soft to hard strategy either, as those tires are still into play, but they might be a bit slow, so it really depends on what Seb is feeling, what he is going to be choosing for. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, and of course what Baki is going to do as well. On the softs, he just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.8, and he is quite a bit faster. So Hardy's getting past Ryan on the straight there, then towards turn 11 he's into P18, and he has a long way ahead of him. But looking at it, Slash is only just a second and a half ahead of him. He is not looking to be too far behind at the moment, as Scuderia Seb is now into the pits, and let's see what tyres he's going to go on.
Yeah, so he did leave that late, and I think that's a little bit too late for a two stop. Is he going on to the hards? He is.
Yeah, he is. He's going to attempt the white ball tyres. Interesting strategy, and it might pay off. We'll have to see about that. He'll lose some track position. I think he'll be around Hardy as he sets the fast lap of the race. Actually, the McLaren, he has good pace at the moment. Of course, getting that pass on Ryan in behind as well.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Advantage on that, but
yeah, literally only just
right ahead of Hardy.
Yeah, only just up ahead of him, so Hardy's going to need to try and get past him ASAP to try and have any sort of chance of being able to keep up with these other guys that are on the medium tyres now. So that now puts the American of Packer into the race lead at the moment. Of course, Nico just behind him as well, only 6 tenths behind him. Zardama really dropping those places at the beginning. It's now cost him, and he's now sitting down in P3, of course. These guys still yet to make any sort of pit stops, but at the moment, Baki, he's done a very good job on the soft tyres, but Lando is doing an even better job keeping up with him. Considering that Baki and Lando were both battling before, Lando's doing, well, amazing to keep up with Baki, actually, on a softer compounder tyre.
Yeah, to note, Lando has significantly more ERS as well, about 50% more, and Baki's just not been able to find the pace the softs should have. They might already be going over a bit, and he'll probably go on to mediums quite soon, as K-Mark is now looking to pits, I think. Yes, he is. He's in the pit from the medium tyres. He's sliding into the pit lane there as I'm on board with him. That's very early for a medium run into pits, and we're going to have to see what tyre he decides to go on. Those are another set of mediums, so he's going to go for 2 stops and Slash sets the fast lap of the race.
Yeah, he certainly is. So, well, I think this is really the part where we're going to see what these guys on the medium tyres are now going to be doing. At the moment, Baki technically is the net race leader. Of course, he's going to need to make a pit stop once again very shortly. Lando, of course, on those mediums as well, very close to the back of Baki. And really, I think by Baki going on those set of softs for the second stint really is going to hurt his chances of being able to take those mediums a long way, because the guys that are on a set of mediums now that are going for a 2 stop, potentially going for another one, but I can also see Mikros and Skyzy going and battling down here for P13. A little bit of wheel bumping between the pair of them. More wheel bumping in there. Skyzy just forcing his way into P13, and now Slash also coming at Mikros as well. This is for a net, I believe, P8, I think this is. Slash getting a move done on the Williams driver up into P14, and Slash on those fresh set of tyres picked himself up a 3-second time penalty for his troubles, but yeah, he's doing well to move himself back up from where he had started.
Yeah, and at the moment we have an enormous train, to be honest, from Gary all the way to Mikros. 7 cars in this train, as much as you'd like. Keep your man is picking up time penalty as well, and of course at the front of the pack, basically, we have the medium runners still out there. Also in quite a bit of a train here, all close behind, 5 cars with Nico, Packer, Zuidema, Spaak and Tinkham. all following each other up, and it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do, as you could split strategies still here. You could go for a 2-stop from the mediums, you could go from mediums to hards, or you can go from mediums to softs, but you really have to stretch those mediums in that case.
Yeah, no, for sure, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't actually see the point that Paco had gotten passed by Nico, and I think he's trying to go back at him now, the Spaniard. I thought he was maybe going to try and go for a bit of a defensive manoeuvre on Paco, but a little bit further back, the two Kivyar boys of Baki and Maledictus just changing positions there, and Lando maybe going to try and take opportunity of that as well. Lando trying to hold it around the outside of the Portuguese, and Maledictus gets that move done straight back behind the pole of Baki. So here we go. This is where it's going to happen now. And also Gary and Arcolo both going side by side as well. Arcolo, I don't think we'll have the DRS, and he's low on ERS. So here we go. Is he going to be able to try and hold off the charge from all of these? He's got Rick's gotten past him. Gary, is he going to try and go past him as well? No, he is not. So Gary losing out 2 positions to both Arcolo and Rick in the space of just 1 DRS zone.
Yeah, Rick in his own hands, he's gained 2, and he's now at the front of this pack, and let's see if he can pull away from the cars in behind, as he looks to have a decent pace at the moment. Low in ERS, so he has to compromise with that. This Packer is now into the pits.
So this is where we're going to see the 2-stop really come out for the American now. So he's probably going to go on another set of mediums, or go on a set of softs and then go mediums at the end of the race. So we'll keep an eye out on him, see where, well, first of all, where of course he's going to come out of the pits. It looks like he may sort of come out just in front of K-Mark, and maybe sort of around where Ryan is as well. So let's have a look as he's just making his way out of the pits now. There's Ryan coming in through turn 1. I think he's actually going to come out just up ahead of Ryan. Or they're going to be side by side, I believe, actually. Let's have a look. So Ryan coming through turn 3. There is Packer just up in front of him. So Ryan getting overcut by Packer, who started on the mediums, and now you've got to think the guys that are on the mediums that are up front are more than likely going to try and maybe make a pit stop right now. As Lando getting past Baki, that is for the net race lead as well, so you can really start to see that these soft tyres are going off, because Maledictus on 10 lap old mediums as well is starting to catch back up to Baki.
Yeah, those softs are really going to fall off, of course, due to the battle between Baki and Lando. Mala may have gained a little bit of time there, as well as Slash is closing up to Skyzy now in behind, down towards turn 11 in the middle of this train. And both braking very deep. Skyzy may have chopped off a bit of his front wing, I'm not too sure about that. It doesn't look like he has damage, at least visual damage. But he was very late in the brakes, both of them were, but Slash is ahead at the moment.
Yeah, no, he certainly did. Slash, it was a good move from him. I think it's just a little bit of a sort of a forced move. But in the end, gotten past the Frenchman of Skyzy in that Mercedes as well. Just a little bit further on up the grid, the guys that are on the set of the mediums actually haven't come in, interestingly enough. So they are going to be extending their stint. And to me, it is looking like that they are going to try and one-stop it, unless they're going to try and do a 2-stop, but go on 2 sets of softs towards the end of the race. But I would have thought by now they would have been in to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go for a 2-step at this rate anymore. I think Packer was really on the late side already to go for that, and he is now in 17, so these guys will only lose out more to that.
I'm really sorry about that, Verstappen. I was just on board with Baki going through the chicane, the first chicane. Almost losing traction and almost going straight into the wall. He's now out of DRS range of Lando. He does, unfortunately, he does have it. I was going to say unfortunately, but yeah, no, he did manage to get it just because he was behind him by a second through the activation zone. But into the second DRS zone, that's now unfortunate. He won't end up having that DRS to him.
Zedam has just gone past for the lead on Nico, and he is into P1 at the moment. Dylan picks up a time penalty in the train. We have some fighting there as Dylan and Slash is wanting to get a move on, but gets denied by Dylan. Skyzy is getting under more pressure now from Mikras, but stays just about ahead there through the triple chicane. And Dylan is really under pressure here by MMA Slash as he is using his ERS. Slash is looking down towards the inside. That's not a place to overtake. Dylan goes a bit defensive there, and Slash has to keep him behind.
Yeah, Slash just trying to put as much pressure on Dylan as possible, trying to sort of put him off into making any sort of mistake that he possibly can. Hasn't fell for it, so Dylan keeping up ahead of Slash, and at one point I'm pretty sure that Slash was sort of within this championship battle. I'm not too sure what exactly had happened to him in throughout that whole thing as well. But yeah, another battle that's also I think that's going to commence now is Rick. Interestingly enough, he's gotten past. Sorry, no, we did see that he got past Arcolo previously, and Rick really is in a net P3. And that's exactly where he needs to be if Hardy isn't going to score any points this evening. However, he is up ahead of Scuderia Seb, of course, as Rick. And now Maledict is trying to hold it around the outside of the finishman. But Rick will have that DRS. And Arcolo also within there. He's got barely any ERS to his name. But they are now 3 wide. Now Maledict is just sort of backing off from that. But Rick not being able to actually hold off the debutee of Arcolo. And now Rick placed behind him, but Arcolo won't have any sort of DRS to his name. So Rick, I think, really playing this a bit smarter, because now he's going to have DRS on the debutee in the Haas, and now Rick probably going to try and go around the outside to have the inside for the second part of the chicane. In fact, backs out of it. So Rick just trying to play his cards a bit right, trying to keep it a little bit safer. I think also because of the guys that are up ahead have the penalties, whereas he doesn't. Is another thing to note as well. If he tries to get within those 3 seconds of the guys that are up ahead of him, I think he's almost on the borderline 3 seconds with Baki. But if he tries to get within those 3 seconds, he could really jump a few of these guys just due to penalties.
Yeah, in the meantime, I just want to note that Scuderia Seb has got past Hardy on those hard set of tires, and he's actually almost in the strain. He is looking to have pretty decent pace for these pretty bad hard usually they are, and that's very impressive to see, and he is not out of this, I would say.
No, he certainly isn't, and that's very that is very good for Seb, to be honest with you, getting past someone that's on a set of the mediums as Mikros, very, very close to the back of Skyzy, and I think actually might be going for a move in towards the chicane. Yeah, they are both side by side going through the first part of the chicane, now both through the second part of the chicane as well. Skyzy just managing to hold down that inside and now holding around the outside of the hairpin. Mikros trying to force his way through and has gotten the move done on the Frenchman in the Mercedes, and of course we'll have that DRS as well. So Skyzy, I don't know if there's anything that he's going to be able to do. He hasn't really got barely any ERS to his name, as well as Maledict is now dropping down 2 positions. Dylan and Gary both side by side as well. Dylan holding the inside line in towards the second chicane and has gotten, I think, the better exit out of the 2, as well as Tinkan and Lando just trading positions as well. But Dylan, I think, without any DRS as well, I think he's actually managed to hold that position from his fellow XL teammate. And now Maledict is coming back at Slash, but Slash going around the outside like he has done a few of the times before, getting that move done just to make sure he had that inside for the S section of the track. And now Slash very close to the back of the 2 XL members of Gary and Dylan. Well, he could still be within a shot of the podium.
As Mikros now gets past Maledict and he's dropping down positions. He may have had an accident, I've not seen what happened. That's Hardy kind of turns in on him there, but Scuderia Seb is just there in 14th behind the train, and Skyzy's choosing his pit, Baki's choosing the pit as well. They're going to go for an undercut, I think. Yeah,
so the 2 QVR boys going probably on a set of the mediums now to the end of the race. Skyzy, as you said, a little bit of an undercut through, but only done 8 laps on those medium tyres, yet both on another set of mediums, so they're going to be going to the end of the race on those mediums. And I mean, they're definitely ones we need to keep our eye out on, because we've seen throughout that first stint how powerful that undercut is. And speaking of that, I think Lando very close to the back of Spag and Chips, so let's have a look and see if Lando is going to be able to go for some sort of move in towards the chicane. I think he was thinking about it, but remains behind them for now. So Lando really as well, another one that may need to make a pit stop very soon to try and go on another set of the mediums, or he could be trying to long it out to go on another set of softs. Now Spag trying to hold around the outside of Lando. Lando forcing his way through the inside in towards the S section. I think we've already gotten the move done before even getting to the corner. So Lando now up into 3rd place. He's completely dropped the likes of Arcolo and Rick. And it looks like Arcolo and Rick have also dropped the likes of Dylan as well. So Dylan, a little bit of catching up he needs to do to those guys of Arcolo and Rick. But so far, Rick, he's in that net P3. He's doing everything that he needs to do. He's really just hoping that he can sort of outpace it through Hardy as well.
So Slash has just got past through the few right-handers there, down towards a little bit of a hairpin. I didn't see how he did it, but he got past right there as I think someone in the pits, yes, is Lando. and he is, I think, he might be countering the undercuts Baki and Kaiser are attempting, although Baki wasn't that close. Dylan and Gary are in, Packer's in, Meeker's in. This is a busy pit lane as Hardy's in as well. 6 guys in the pits. Gonna have to see how this will pan out.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on board with Baki because of him. He's the one that is doing the undercut on the rest of these guys. Where is Lando going to be coming out in relation to all of these guys now? So Lando just coming out of the tunnel. Baki's just coming around turn 1. So Lando has gotten the jump on Baki. I mean, Baki took those soft tyres way too long. So that he's now lost, what's that, about 2.5 seconds off the pole. So Lando now in what I would say is a net race lead, because you're going to expect the rest of these guys to make this next pit stop. I'm not expecting any of them to sort of stay out other than Scuderia Seb. So Seb, how far is he up ahead of Lando? He's about 9 seconds up ahead of him, as Lando just getting past Ryan for P11. And Spag and Chips and Tin Can also just trading positions, both side by side through the S's. Spag having to hold the outside, and Tin Can going across the grass and spinning in the second part of the S section. Spag left him, I think, plenty enough room, but I don't think Tin Can thought he did. So unfortunately for the Racing Point driver, he was having a good race so far, but he has gone round, unfortunately. And now Scuderia Seb going past him through the triple right-hander.
Yeah, I think Tin Can squeezed back to the curve, and that caused a lot of contact, causing Tin Can to go onto the grass and not really anywhere to go and spinning out. Slash has picked up another time penalty. Rick is now in as well. Slash stays out, Packer stays out. Of course, he's on 4-lap old medium, so he won't be pitting at this time. But let's see where Rick comes out in comparison to these guys. I think he was a few seconds ahead of Dylan, wasn't he?
Yes, so let's have a look and see where he does end up coming out. He may end up coming out sort of around where Ryan is, or I was going to say Ryan, but he is also into the pits as well. So let's have a look. Rick just coming through the tunnel section now. Close. Dylan, he's just coming through turn 1 as there are yellows. That is Maledictus at turn 2. They're both side by side. Dylan now trying to hold it down the inside into turn 3. They're both still side by side going through. And it was a chicane. Rick breaking a lot later than what Dylan has, and Rick getting the inside for the second part of the chicane. So Rick will take that position from Dylan and maintain that, but Dylan will have that DRS on Rick. So the Finn, he's going to need to do a bit of defending, but with Dylan and his DRS, I don't think there's going to be any defending he can do. Straight down the inside he goes. Dylan now up into P12, but Rick, he will have that DRS for the second part of the chicane. It's all dependent on the exit of what everybody's going to get. Dylan just making sure he rides that curb. Rick doesn't ride it that much, but he's got significantly more ERS compared to what the Dutchman does. And now DRS wide open. You can see Dylan's red light flashing. Rick, I think he's just going to breeze straight past him, straight around the outside. Dylan, nothing much he's going to be able to do. And Rick down, now back up into that P12, and on fresher tyres, he's really going to need to get a bit of a move on.
Yeah, and one thing to keep an eye on, I think the medium runners might pick quite soon, as Zuidema indeed is in the pits. Spaak is following him, and Arcola as well. As Arcola comes very close to the back of Spaak there.
I thought he hit him.
There was any contact, luckily.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to see the Zuidema and Spaak coming onto the soft tires, whereas Arcola will probably go onto the mediums, which will be probably better in the longer run. And in behind, Tin Can is in as well. I think someone else I'm missing. I don't think actually I am. But let's see where Zuidema, for example, comes out in relation to the medium runners, as Gary's coming out of the pit. He's ahead of Gary. If you look where this, I think over a 10-lap stint around that, the mediums and soft will be about the same as Maledictus has retired.
And K-Mark's gone round as well. Yeah, I saw a little bit of wing fly off from someone. I must have had a bit of contact with K-Mark. I don't know who that was. Was that Skyzy? I can't tell. No, it's Dylan.
Can't find any sort of wing damage.
It's Dylan. Front right end plate damage with him.
Yeah. That must have been. Well, K-Mark was on a slower pace probably than the rest of these guys as our color picks, and another time penalty there. Yeah, must have been some contact while trying to pass, or I don't know, maybe someone braking a bit late. It's this yellow flags, and K-Mark is off there once again. I'm not sure what he's doing. Yeah, bit of a weird incident there.
Yeah, it certainly is. And now Zadama, he's got a bit of a mission to do. So we know he's never notorious for picking up penalties. So he's going to need to try and get some moves done. He's going straight down the inside in the double right-hander. Zadama on a fellow Dutchman getting that move done. So Zadama now into P9. Good move from him as well. And we haven't really seen, well, I say we haven't really seen too much of him this season. This is looking like it could be the race where he could pick up quite a significant amount of points, especially with the guys up ahead of him having quite a lot of penalties to his name. So Zadama, of course, Nico as well, just coming into the pits and just making his way out of the pits now. Zadama, I think, has got on the undercut on the Spaniard, and he was behind him for the majority of the time. So Zadama now, well, he could be a very good contender to try and catch up to the two Renaults and Baki to come towards the end of this race.
Yeah, it's definitely one to look out for. I'm not sure how good those softs will be towards the end of the race. Of course, you're going to have to drag them 11 laps for Zadama. So that's going to be interesting to see. He's closing up towards Kaiser, and it should be an easy move for the McLaren now. Down on the inside he goes, and he's up into P7. And now he has Rick just about 2 seconds ahead of him. He's not out of a shadow of a podium position, especially indeed with those guys having penalties. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think this is really what's also going to play a massive part into the championship as well, because Zadama, of course, being teammates with Hardy, Zadama really trying to make sure that he can get past Rick, get the move done on him, to then make sure that Hardy still has a chance of being able to take this title fight into Brazil and still having an opportunity. But Zadama 2.3 seconds now behind the fin of Rick. It doesn't look as if he's actually gaining on him that much to end at all, really, as Rick's doing a superb job. He's caught up to the back of Baki now and will have that DRS, whereas Zadama is actually losing time to Rick.
Yeah, he's not looking to be extremely pacey at the moment. I think Rick is pushing as he has set the fast lap of the race. So he may have used some ERSs. Yeah, Zadama over that lap was 3/10 quicker than the Williams. He just lost a bit in the final sector. I'm not sure how exactly, because those soft shift work better in that final sector. Of course, it's more grip. So the yellow flash K mark is round once again, and now Arcolo is now looking to the back of Dylan towards turn 5. Looking around the outside, it was be an amazing move if he can pull this one off, but he can't. He gets caught on the curb, and Dylan about stays ahead, but we still have a few straights to go about here. So Arcolo can get a better exit onto the main longest straight basically, and DRS is open now. Is he gonna go for the move down towards the chicane? He doesn't engage his overtake as Nico is falling back a bit. I'm not sure what happened here. He's stuck on the track, in the middle of the track.
He stopped.
That looks so odd. I'm not sure what's happened there.
Yeah, that's very odd.
Very interesting. As Arcola is once again looking towards the outside, as he picks up a time penalty there on the outside, exceeding some track limits. Now he's really onto the back of Dylan, and he's looking to get past. Of course, Dylan having that wing damage, he won't be as quick. And Spag is looking in behind, the same as Mikros Hardy. They're all in this fight basically for P10 at the moment, as Slash and Packer are gonna come in.
Yeah, and this is a very, very interesting thing to note as well. Look at the two Renaults. Lando has caught up to his teammate. Seb is, of course, going to be taking his hards to the end of the race. But Lando, on those fresh set of mediums, now 4 tenths behind his teammates. So you can really see how powerful this two-stop is. And how, well, to be fair, how bad that these hards are. He's already caught up to the back of his teammate. And I don't know if Seb is going to give this one up lightly, or he may end up doing that, just trying to stick behind his teammate. And then there could be a potential, or more than likely guaranteed, Renault 1-2. But it depends, of course, on the penalties towards the end of the race at the moment. All of those guys in the top 4 are now on 3 seconds. As Rick, I didn't actually realise, was also the one that picked himself up that 3-second time penalty. And look at where Zadama is. He's only just shy of 3 seconds, as Rick now getting past Baki as well. So Rick technically in the net third. And he needs to try and get away from Zadama, because this is the perfect opportunity for Rick to be able to capitalise on this championship. Hardy's only going to be picking up 1 point at the moment. And he's got Slash behind him on a fresh set of soft tyres.
Of course, say that, but there's a few guys with penalties up ahead, as Dylan and Arklo are fighting. Dylan just breezing past, actually, for P8. But those guys will be set back a little bit, I think, on those with those penalties. Dylan's still struggling with that wing damage. You can see how much he's losing through that section that requires a lot of downforce. Interesting to note, Scuderia Sepp has not managed to stay with his teammates, and Lando is completely gone off into the horizon, and he is looking the favourite to win here.
Yeah, he certainly is, and also that gap down to Zadama, it's 3.3 to 3.4 seconds between him and Rick. So as it stands, Rick really is in that driver's seat to win this championship tonight. It depends on, of course, well, Slash, of course, having those penalties to his name, 9 seconds worth. Packer's also sort of joining in that little group, or that little train behind him as well. Dylan having being his, or doing the best impression of Thomas the Tank Engine, with Arklow trying to now go down the inside into the chicane. Dylan breaking very late in towards it, just trying to defend as best as he possibly can, and that's allowing everybody that's now behind him to catch up. And look at how close Slash is to the back of Hardy, and Spag as well, just also up ahead of him. This train, this is where things could really get spicy within this DRS train, as Hardy's very low on ERS. Slash could maybe try and capitalise on maybe getting a move done, as Packer's the one that's only just missing out on this DRS train. As now I think Arklow, I think he was eyeing up a move on the Red Bull, but has to stay behind him for now. And Dylan, it just seems to get the better exit coming out of that chicane, but it's just unfortunate with him, the ERS situation for him, as Nico just getting past Ryan. But yeah, it just seems to be a bit of an unfortunate situation for him regarding his ERS and stuff like that, as K-Mark picking himself up a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how this is going, as K-Mark, I think, has gone round at turn 2.
Yeah, for turn 3 and 4, so just some Brian on board with Slash, going very close to the back of Hardy. And a few sub-runners will be frustrated in this pack as well, as they're having the faster tires and they need to make use of it, but they can't really, due to these medium runners basically holding up and not getting past one another, making those soft runners really not anywhere to go.
Yeah, it certainly is. And look at this, Slash really trying to go for a bit of a move now in towards turn 1. I'm watching on board of this from Packer's point of view, both still side by side. Slash has to just be content with staying behind the McLaren for now. And look at this, just all of these guys running through turns 3 and turn 4. Arklow is desperate to find a way through on Dylan, but he just can't seem to find anywhere to go.
No, he doesn't, and being low in the ERS doesn't help, but he's not using it all either, as he's using it now of the exit. Now he should have him. The Haas is closing up with the ERS and is breezing past the Red Bull and Dylan, but of course with the DRS straights coming after, Dylan might try and come back at him, as Hardy and Slash are now going side by side. Slash looking around the outside, he still has his nose in, and they're going side by side just about. Hardy keeps ahead there, but is Dylan going to try and come back? Yes, he is. He's closing up to the back of the Haas. Now he's going down the inside, and that should be an easy move back towards into P8. And this is what Dylan has been doing for the longest time now. Slash and Hardy still side by side there through the triple chicane, still side by side through turn 14 as well. Good side by side racing between the two of them, but it looks like Hardy's got the better and the inside of the corner now. Slash is using a bit more ERS over on the outside. Is he going to try to keep it? Still side by side somehow. Not making a lot of contact, and Hardy just about keeps out his backer, picks up the time penalty just in behind, right on board with him. As a K-Mark, I didn't know what's going on with him, but he's not enjoying his time out on track, I think. But yeah, amazing side-by-side action between the pair of them.
Yeah, it certainly was. I was on board for Packer with that throughout that whole sort of stint of that, and yeah, it was very good side-by-side action between the pair of them. When riding on board with Packer, I think he just cut too much of the first double left in the hotel section as well. So yeah, he's not going to be able to get anything sort of done.
I'm pretty sure you have cutouts from me at the moment. I'm not too sure. So
yeah, sorry about that.
Hardy is closing up to the back of Spag, but Spag is using ERS in defense then, and Hardy's not been able to go through, as Arklow is now looking down the inside of Dylan into the chicane once, but still is Dylan later on the brakes, and there now is Mikras coming through, as Rick has gone past Scuderia Sepp in the meantime. But it's Arklow still in behind, and now Mikras and Spag is looking as well. Is he going to make a way through? He's being boxed in here, but he's going to go down the inside, maybe Arklow. As K-Mark is now retired, he's put it in the wall, I think. Not too sure. As a bit of contact between Spag
and there's a safety car.
And Arklow. And that's a safety car indeed. 5-second time penalties for Hardy there as well. And a few others. And is this going to mean a few drivers may opt the pits? I am not too sure. Lando stays out. This drive through for Baki for speeding on the safety car. These guys all looking like they're staying out. And this could benefit Zuidema because he is the first one not to have any penalty. But all the guys ahead of him do have penalties. And being on softs, of course, not the freshest of softs. This is very interesting to see.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's actually coming into the pits at all. So, well,
further down we have some pit stops. Slash, Tinkan, and Markelo are opting to pits. I'm not too sure how or why, but we'll see. Nico might be in as well. Yes, he is. Brian is continuing on, but Niwalowici's in. So these guys will offer fresh softs and see if they can make anything work. A few guys without penalty, so that may help for them as well.
And I'll tell you another one that's more than likely it's going to benefit as well is Spag, because he's also the other one, and same with Skyzy, as you said with Zarma. They're the only three that have yet to pick themselves up any penalties that are sort of sitting behind all of these guys at the moment. Of course, I believe the safety car, it won't be in on this lap, or it'll probably be in on the next lap, because it needs to do at least, I think it's 2 full laps of racing. So, yeah, the safety car.
And to note,
well,
Baki has picked up the driver for speeding, and he's going to have to serve that, so that makes his race basically over, as he can't serve it under the safety car, of course. Yeah, that is really unfortunate to see for him. Just a little maybe laid off attention, and he has picked himself up a drive-through, and that's basically ruined his shot at any given result.
Yeah, and another thing I note as well, with Hardy picking up that 5-second penalty for a collision with Packer, I think that was literally just as the safety car came out when they were both side by side.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure if Hardy's going to maybe try and get that one removed, but if he doesn't, then
same with Mikras.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Ryan behind him, if he doesn't manage to get it removed, Ryan behind him could jump him essentially, because he's on the medium tyres, same as Hardy. Packer on a set of the softs will more than likely try and get past Hardy ASAP. And then Ryan up behind him could just jump him just due to penalties. So, really, Rick is still in that net third position, as Adama is more than likely the one that is in now the prime position to take the win for tonight. Starting down in 11th, for you saying that he'd probably be on the podium, well, he's looking like he's about to win this race.
Oh. It does look like that, but you do have to note that Scuderia Sepp on the 17 lap old part is still in the way there, and that may allow for Lando and Rick to pull away if they can, because the grip on those won't be anywhere near good, to be honest.
Yeah.
For Sepp here. So if Zuidema can dispatch of Baki, of course, having to serve that drive-through, I don't know which lap he'll do it. He'll have to do it. So gonna have to see when and how. But Scuderia Sepp, of course, being the main part in this, and how quick can Zuidema and Skyzy as well actually get through this.
Yeah, no, this is where it's going to get very interesting as well, because with a drive-through, there's only going to be 2 laps left to go, and it usually says you can serve it within the next 2 laps. So I don't know if it allows it on this game, because I think it did last week as well. I think it was allowed for that to happen, not last week, sorry, in the last game, where if you get a drive-through within the last 3 laps, and then the safety car comes in and you don't serve the drive-through, it gives you like a 20-second time penalty. I don't know if Baki's going to try and do that and just not bother to serve the drive-through, because I feel like it might be a bit slower. No, sorry, it'll probably be a bit quicker if he does actually serve the drive-through, but then he could be well in the way of Zarma come towards the end of this race. I don't personally know if that is the way it's going to happen. He could do what I did and just sort of stay out until you have to come in and serve it, but then again, that'll be on the last lap. So...
yeah, I'm not sure if you're allowed to serve it on lap 27 coming on to 28, so if he is, he'll probably do that. But the safety car is going to be in this lap, and Lando will be leading the field and trying to get a gap somewhere here, because there's many places he can go. Of course, with a lot of traction, there's a lot of corners that you are able to accelerate from. He can catch Rick and others at a surprise and maybe pull a gap here.
Yeah, so... let's have a look and see how this is going to go. Lando, he's sort of kept up with the safety car, kind of resembling, again, what what a few guys have been doing with the safety cars lately. And Lando, he's going now already. So Rick did manage to find when he was going. Seb also being able to capitalise on that. And Zaldemar, look how close he is to the back of Baki already. Baki just sleeping on that restart in comparison to those top three. And Zaldemar going quite wide at turn 1. It's going to cause him a bit of time, and so is Baki. Baki going very, very wide out of turn 1, but trying to do as much as he can to step ahead. And Slash has now gone round at turn 1, so he must have a bit of contact to Spag and Dylan. Once again, also in this battle here. I'm surprised Spag didn't end up hitting, Dylan didn't end up hitting him with that wing damage, but a bit of contact between the pair of them. Him and Spag, bit of contact. Spag just forcing his way through on the Red Bull driver and getting that move done. Now Zaldemar, of course, there's not going to be any DRS for the final couple of laps. We have to have 3 laps of racing, or it needs to be on the 3rd lap of racing for DRS. As Dylan now very close to the back of Spag once again, using up as much ERS as he possibly can. Spag now trying to hold it around the outside, a little bit of contact between the pair of them, but Dylan trying to go back down the inside of the Ferrari, trying to force his way back through, just turn straight in and getting that move done. And now Hardy getting past Mikros as well. This is where it's going to be very crucial. Hardy now trying to go maybe around the outside of Spag in towards the second chicane, the S section of the track, a little bit of contact between the pair of them, a little bit of wheel banging. Hardy, he's going to have to back off. He has just allowed Spag just to keep that position, but that's also allowed Packer to go straight past him. And now Mikros also trying to get a move done on the McLaren driver as well. I'm not too sure how this is all going to end when it comes towards the end of it, but Ryan could literally be the one that will jump up past Hardy as Packer getting past Spag as well. But Ryan could be the one that is going to be the thorn in Hardy's side of jumping past him throughout these penalties.
It does maybe look like that. And just to note, Zaldemar has lost the 3-second gap already to Lando and Rick. Baki's now into surface drive through. That's what it's looking like for Zaldemar that's in here. Unless he gets a really good final lap here on towards the Abu Dhabi GP. Best is looking in here is the podium position at the moment, unless one of these guys picks up penalties, as Tinkan does, but he is of course not in that fight at the moment. Hardy is looking onto the back of Spag as well as Packer onto the back of Dylan. He is going to look towards turn 5, just about to have to stay behind someone's few around. Nico is in the wall. Arcolo is around it as well. There's been a major amount of contact here, and they are both, well, Nico's tires off, and Arcolo has picked up, I think, some wing damage. It does look like that. Yes, he has. So I'm not sure what happened there. Can't really make a judgment on that, as Hardy is getting past Spag now to the chicane. Round the outside he goes, and he'll have the inside for the next part. Spag is looking for the cutback though. Is he going to be able to get back past the McLaren here? As he's gaining on towards him, can he make a move down towards turn number 11 now? I don't think he is. Hardy is looking to stay ahead, and by that I think all battles are kind of settled at the moment, as Arcolo has got a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. I'm not too sure what that's about. Dylan 3-second time penalty as Hardy. This is Hardy and Packer goes. No, sorry. Packer and Dylan go side by side there, but it all doesn't really too much matter, as Lando and Rick are coming up towards the final corner now. Lando is going to take the victory here unless he gets a penalty. He doesn't, and he comes across the line. Lando's in P1, Rick in P2. I think Zaldemar will pick up the final podium position. Yes, he will. Sky's up into P4. It's going to be a Seb in P5 at the moment. I'm not too sure who's going to jump up. Gary in 6th. And Spag at 7th, he's dropped down a bit. Ryan in 8th, then it's Packer. Hardy only in 10th. And I have got to do some maths here, because this is going to be
12.
Close.
12 points. Unless Zaldemar picked up the fastest lap.
Rick is just...
Oh no, not Zaldemar, sorry, unless Rick picked up fastest lap.
Yeah. So... Rick has got 15 points more than Hardy. Under the... Of course, the professional standards, because it might be that Hardy can get that 5-second time penalty removed. We're going to have to see about that. So I don't want to call it too early, but professionally it's Rick's championship won here.
Yeah, so, I mean, that 5-second penalty that he had with Packer, well, this is where it could get close. The title could very well be wrapped up. But I don't know if that 5-second penalty is going to be removed.
Where does he jump up into if he gets that one removed? That would be P7, meaning he'd get 6 points, and he'd marginally still be in this.
Let's have a look. So 5-second penalty then puts him up in the So he'll have 8 points. Rick will have 18. So that's 10 points if Hardy gets that 5 seconds removed.
Hardy would be in 7th because it would be 5.907.
Oh,
so
yeah, sorry.
just
So,
about
yeah.
ahead of Spaak there.
So
So
it'll be 12.
12 points extra. That'll be 24 going into the final race. Anyway, so I think we should go for the race results. Lando's won this race ahead of Rick and Zuidam on the podium. Then Skyzy, a bit of a quiet race in 4th. Scuderia Sepp in 5th on his hard tyres. And Gary, Spaak, Ryan, Packer, Hardy, of course, provisionally in 10th. Then Niwa Luigi and Mikro ran after points, paying positions. Then we have Dylan at 13th, Tinkan at 14th. Then it's Slash at 15th, Packy unfortunately at 16th there. Arkle at 17th, Nico DNFing along with K-Mark and Maledictus.
It's very interesting because I thought Baki came in to serve that drive-through, but obviously he mustn't have in the end. So he obviously had to serve that 20-second time penalty. But at the moment, as it stands, Rick has won this championship, but it depends on whether this 5 seconds is going to be removed from Hardy. That the only thing I can say is really just sort of stay tuned to next week to see if Rick has actually ended up winning the championship. At this moment, he certainly has. Well, it's not even certain. I don't know what to make of it, Verstappen.
I don't know either. At the moment, yeah, all we can say is professionally Rick has won, but it might change with the penalty, may get removed for Hardy. We're going to have to see about that, and I think you need to stay tuned for that one. Of course, next week in Brazil, if we will have a title decider or it's been settled already, we don't know at the moment. So, going to have to see.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see how this is going to go. But, yeah, at the moment, Rick has taken the Division 2 championship. Make sure you tune in next week, because then we'll actually be able to tell you if Rick has definitely taken the win or if it will go over to Brazil. So make sure you guys are tuning in for next week. But that was one heck of a race. Congrats, of course, going to Lando, Rick and Zanema all on getting a podium. Verstappen, any final words for what we've just witnessed?
Well, I think I can say congratulations to Lando for the race victory. He's been driving amazingly the last few rounds, and he has definitely deserved that one. And other than that, yeah, I can't really say much about it. Of course, Zuidam, of course, getting his first podium, I believe, of the season.
Yeah.
So congrats to him as well. But other than that, I think that's it.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, as I said, congrats to those guys. As I said, make sure you guys are tuning in next week for the final round for Brazil, where I'm sure it will be the usual of Dakar and Verstappen next week. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for tonight for all divisions. Make sure you guys catch the PC race, of course, on Friday as well at 8 PM. And then, of course, next week, Division 1, 3 and 4 at 6:40. Division 2 and Division 5 for their finales as well at 8 PM next week on Saturday. Yeah, once again, thank you all for tuning in. And we'll catch you guys next week for the last round of the League of Europe season.